Hi, I'm Kerry, and this is Brotherless Night by V.V. Ganeshananthan. It is a fantastic novel about the Sri Lankan Civil War, which took place from the 1980s to 2009, roughly. The war took place between the Tamil minority and the Sinhalese majority. Basically, in a nutshell, if you don't know much about it, which I didn't, and I think most people in the West were not terribly aware of it at the time, and have certainly forgot about it since. It was basically a Northern Ireland situation, except far bloodier, far more violent, much greater body count, numbering into the hundreds of thousands, and a great, huge toll on the civilian population. Um, the main character is Sashi. At the beginning of the novel, a 16-year-old girl working hard to get through medical school, get into and through medical school, and her four brothers and her parents. Now, thematically, the book portrays civil war as, in addition to devastating physically, it also becomes a moral cataclysm because it either warps or breaks a great many people's moral compasses. And we see this within Sashi's family. Her eldest brother is killed early on in the Civil War by a mob. Violence in Colombo against a riot against the Tamils. Two other brothers joined the Tamil Tigers, the group fighting the Sinhalese majority. One of them is killed in action, although she never knows exactly how or he ended up dead. And the other one in the Tigers becomes a cold-eyed killer, we assume, or something that she fears. A brother that she loved and really cannot understand how this would happen, but it's something that happens to everyone around her. Everyone is morally challenged, either to be bystanders and ignore what's happening, or to take sides, either out of fear or a desire for change, or a desire for violence. That's something the novel brings out, is the manner in which revolutions or civil wars, the longer they last, the more they bring to the top those who are most willing to commit violence and happiest to commit violence. And as this particular war dragged on, it just became crueler and crueler, with the Tamil Tigers actually waging as vigorous a war against competing groups who should have been on their side. It's also a story in which we see Sashi trying to becoming a doctor, and taking the idea of doing no harm, as the Hippocratic Oath says, so seriously that she's willing to treat Tamil Tigers who are injured, arguing with herself that it's simply she wants to heal people. And she can live with this idea, even though she knows that the Tamil Tigers are committing all kinds of atrocities. So are the Sinhalese, the regular army, and later the Indian peacekeeping forces that try to intervene between the two sides. But at a certain point, she realizes that patching up people who can just re-enter the battle and commit more crimes is a problem for her, and she begins to cooperate with an underground series of reports detailing the crimes of the Tamil Tigers, while at the same time continuing to treat the injured. It's a complex novel. A lot of characters, asks a lot of questions of the reader in terms of what do you think is the right or wrong going on here. It's sad, brutally tragic in many places, and it doesn't make things easy for the reader in terms of judging who's right or who's wrong. All sides seem to be pretty horrible, and towards the end of the conflict, it becomes clear that this is simply a war of attrition. Who is willing to kill the most and for the longest period of time? As I said, I don't know a lot of the politics behind this, but clearly the message we get from the novel is that what happens in these conditions is morality is pretty much lost. So what are you fighting for in the end if you're killing your own brothers and sisters, which is something that Sashi eventually begins to fear that her own brother might do her in if he finds out she's involved in these reports, or at least is not as sympathetic to the Tamil Tigers as he might like. Another theme in this novel, which is interesting, is its emphasis on education and the intensity with which the characters in this novel regard the power of education and improving oneself through becoming part of a profession. It's almost the second half of the novel is, it's an undercurrent running through the novel that Sashi, her friends, live to study. It is one of the most important parts of their life. This is something, the power of education, I've noticed in a few other Indian novels, and one by another Sri Lankan author, Yasmin Gunaratne, called The Sweet and Simple Kind. Beyond that, what else should I say about it? And by the end of the novel, we're still left with questions about the choices Sashi has made, which is a good thing in a novel. Keeps us thinking about it. It's certainly a novel that you will remember. And I really can't recommend it too much. And I'll plug my own novel for a second. It's a noir thriller set in California and Nevada. Please enjoy.